a young girl walking home on a Sunday night in Sarasota, Florida. A journey that should have taken just a few minutes, instead ended in tragedy, and the entire nation watched it unfold and captured on a single surveillance camera. This is the heartbreaking case of 11-year-old Carlie Brucia. Carlie Jane Brucia was born in 1992. At just 11 years old, she was like so many other kids, fun, full of energy, and excited about life. She lived with her mother, Susan, in Sarasota, Florida. Carlie loved spending time with her friends, hanging out at the mall, and she had her whole life ahead of her. On February 1st, 2004, Carlie was walking home after spending time with a friend. It was early evening. She should have made it home in just a short walk, but instead she crossed paths with a man who had no intention of letting her go free. Outside a local car wash, a surveillance camera captured the moment. In the footage, Carlie walks by. Suddenly, a man approaches her. He puts his hand on her arm, guiding her away. She looks uncertain, but she doesn't scream. Maybe she thought he was an authority figure. Maybe she was just too scared. That man was 37-year-old Joseph P. Smith. On paper, he was a mechanic. In reality, he was a troubled man with a dark past. He was addicted to drugs, had a long list of arrests for heroin possession, burglary, theft, and probation violations. He was the kind of man who slipped through the cracks of the system time and time again. Smith had 4 children of his own, but instead of being a father, he was consumed by crime and addiction. On that night in February 2004, he was high on cocaine and looking for trouble. Tragically, Carlie became his target. When Carlie didn't come home, her parents called police. The community immediately sprang into action. Volunteers, officers, helicopters, everyone searching. And then came the breakthrough, the surveillance video. Police released the clip to the public. Within hours, it was being played on every major network, haunting millions of viewers. Dozens of tips came in. People recognized the man in the footage as Joseph Smith. Police moved quickly. They arrested him on unrelated drug charges, then pressed him about Carlie. He denied everything. But behind the scenes, investigators were building their case. Days passed, and hope began to fade. Then on February 6, 2004, police received the devastating news. Carlie's body had been found behind a church, hidden under some brush. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled. The search was over, but the nightmare was only beginning for her family. Joseph Smith was charged with kidnapping, sexual battery, and first-degree murder. During the trial, prosecutors laid out the chilling timeline. The video footage was damning. Forensic evidence tied Smith directly to Carlie's death. In 2005, a jury found Smith guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to death. Years later, appeals reduced his sentence to life without parole, but he remains behind bars to this day, where he will die in prison. Carlie's murder shook the Sarasota community and the entire country. Parents were terrified. How could a simple walk home become a death sentence? The case sparked conversations about child safety, repeat offenders, and the justice system's failure to keep predators off the streets. Carlie's family fought to ensure her memory lived on. Her story is a reminder of the fragility of life and the evil that sometimes walks among us. Carlie Brucia was only 11 years old. She never got to grow up, to chase her dreams, to live the life she deserved. But her case reminds us that even in the darkest times, truth can come to light, and justice, no matter how delayed, can still be served. Rest in peace, Carlie.